machine.
Why don't you explain it, what it is?
And it's a program he wrote in Python that reads through a list of how many commands are in your list? A whole bunch of commands in the list, Linux type commands. And it reads through these commands and it at random picks one, throws it up on the screen, and then we probe the audience to see if somebody can explain what that command is, what it's useful for.
Is this list growing?
No, it's just basically stuff that was in user bin.
Well, isn't it like you mark the ones that have already been found?
Yeah, once a command is
so it's getting smaller.
Chosen,
it gets smaller.
No, that's true.
Yeah, so it does change. Once a command has been chosen, it gets marked to not be chosen again.
All right, so
And it's a lot of fun.
here we go.
Here we go.
The wheel is spinning.
We gotta add sound to it.
That's what we need.
egrep. Egrep. Somebody want to tell us what egrep is?
Regular expression.
Yeah, it's extended grep.
Grep with regular expressions, yeah.
Grep's already got regular expressions. What's extended about it?
Well,
First of all, what's grep?
Alright.
Everybody knows what grep is? Should we spend 10 seconds to explain grep?
That's what it keeps the name.
Grep is regular
expression parser.
So yeah, well that's the story. Global regular expression parser. It's a great tool for searching through files for things.
Typically strings within.
I use it all the time. I've got a huge tree of source code, and I want to find where I did something.
A certain table you use.
I know the table name or the field name or something like that. I can do a grep minus RL string that I'm looking for dot, and it'll recursively search the entire tree for a file containing that thing. I do the L option, so it'll just show me the name of the file. I do the R option, so it'll be recursive. It's capital R, isn't it?
Yeah, capital.
I've been typing it so long I just type it. I don't even.
It's a muscle memory at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
The I option.
But there's a ton of options for use with it, and it'll accept regular expressions. I think that's sort of a GNU thing, though. The GNU grep.
Yeah.
I think the older greps.
There was F grep and E grep.
Yeah, they were slower when you had regular expressions, so that's why you had to run the other version of it.
I think you'll find egrep is just a symlink to.
It's the same
Dash
line.
capital E.
A hard link or a symlink.
Yeah.
I thought egrep you could give it two expressions and say or, and it would do.
Well, that's
That's
standard
true.
regular expression type of stuff you can do. You can have expression or expression.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if just plain old grep supports that now.
The
I never use F grep or E grep. I just use grep now, and it does everything that I need to do.
egrep will handle the POSIX extensions and the what's the other one? The Perl type.
Perl expressions, yeah. The Perl regular expressions.
Alrighty.
So yeah, that's egrep.
fgrep is, I find, it's a lot faster if you're searching just for text.
Yeah, it is.
It's a lot faster.
Speed is usually something I don't have a problem with on the systems I'm working with.
All right, next command.
Somebody?
I have no clue.
What? You don't know what dir is?
No.
Basically,
I'm not gonna answer it.
Oh, come on. Basically, it's similar to LS, except that it does a little bit differently. Let's bring it up.
I didn't even know that there was a dir command.
Yeah, well, it kind of brings up like the Windows version of.
It's an attempt to make MS-DOS users comfortable.
I always thought that. Now I got to boot up my Linux machine because
I think it's basically LS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when you just did that, it came out LS. I thought it did it, like in the same syntax format that Windows did it. Yeah, awful. That's right.
I think it's the same damn thing.
Same time.
All right, moving on.
It is now. I don't know if it always has been.
Is that an optional thing? Because I could swear most machines that I've been on, dir doesn't work.
Well,
I've always
I know
had that in
Ubuntu
LS.
does.
Touch.
It's a touch.
Touch.
What does touch do? Go, just,
Change
GNU
the,
core
time
utils, so that
on
means pretty much
the
everything.
modification time on the file.
right,
Creates.
or it
Or creates a
can-
file.
creates a file. Creates a
If
zero
it
line
doesn't
file.
exist.
Yeah,
Right.
file doesn't exist.
You
set
can create a
or-
file with that date and
You
time.
can
Yeah,
set-
by default, it'll set it to the current time with an argument. I forget what the argument is. You can set it to any time you want.
Oh, really?
If you ever teach computer science students, make sure you watch out for this because this is how we all cheated to have our homework in on time. You know, if we do at midnight and we go in at 3 a.m. and then touch all the files back to like 11:59.
Yeah, so you can give it a date string.
Yeah.
You can tell it not to create it. You can change the access times on it.
You can change any of the times associated with the
With the file, yeah.
Touch.
Right.
The other use for it too, a lot of times was for find. A lot of times find, you do find newer. So you'd set the date back to whatever you wanted and then say find newer. So if you were trying to find the files that have been updated in the last 10 days, okay, you could create a file, touch a file 10 days ago, okay, and then say find newer.
And then
So I
this
mean,
is
that was,
this is great for like the makefile targets. We talked about how make would
Very useful
watch
for make.
for things that have changed. If it
Right.
hasn't changed, it won't run the target, the command.
Yeah.
But if you want to force it, you're like, I want you to run this. I know the files exist. Just touch the target and then run make again, and then it'll go through and go, oh, it's been updated, even though you really didn't change anything.
That's
So
always useful.
it's good for testing, building, and debugging your make files and things too.
okay, good.
Next one.
Ew.
We got some
Ew.
someplace today.
Better not let any government people in here.
So, kill.
Kill.
It pops a balloon.
Signals the processes.
That's right.
Right. So it's not necessarily to remove the process, but it's a way to send a signal over to the process. So let's say you wanted to tell it to restart, you send a -1 to it. If you want to tell it to cleanly exit, -15 means clean.
The default is 15.
Yeah.
Say kill with no
Say
argument.
kill no matter what is -9.
Yeah.
Right. And that's you know,
You can also
That
use
is-
kill 0 to see if the process exists.
exactly.
Really?
Yeah.
So kill 9, is that, if it's not a process that's not responding, does kill 9 work at the operating system level?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
you can, if you can
Well,
type,
it's-
if you can type in kill -9,
It kills
it will-
uncooperative
I
ones who
mean,
don't pull.
Usually
I don't know
it
It'll do it.
I don't know that it's ever not worked on a.
Oh, it could not work. Depends on why what's going on with the process. If the process is hung, waiting in a system loop or something where it's stuck at a kernel level, it'll just stay there anyway.
Or if the process became a zombie.
Yeah.
Zombie process, yeah. And a zombie process is a process whose parent died, but it hasn't died yet, or
It's one that's been killed, but it hasn't been released from the
A kill.
process table.
I killed zombies.
yeah, because there was no parent listening for the there was no
Whatever.
parent waiting for it to die or something.
Yeah.
Aaron Toppins, I think it's how you say his last name.
Yeah, he
Toppins.
just did something
He
on
just
this.
did just a blog post last night, this morning, about like the proper levels, the order to do kill commands. Like
Yeah.
first try to do it nicely this way, then a little more sternly this way, and then finally like -9 try it all, you know, or whatever.
Yeah,
But
slap
he
it,
went through
slap
the
it, then
reasoning
shoot
and
it.
stuff, and
Yeah.
it was kind of a good blog post.
Yeah,
so.
I think he went through -15 for the regular kill signal, then -2 for control C, -1 for restarting it, and then there was another one that he did in between there before he did -9.
Well, if you do a kill 15 on a process, if a process gets a signal 15, it'll
Right.
try to do some cleanup. It'll try to clear files and
Whose
there's a
blog
chance
is
for it
this?
to catch that signal and do something appropriate. Kill -9, you kill it dead.
Yeah.
It doesn't get a chance to run any of its cleanup handlers or anything like
It's
that.
Aaron Toppons, Topponc, I think
That's
it's
one thing.
Is it 1T? If you go to planet.ubuntu.com.
And like I say, what I've used it before too is if I'm running a script, I want to make sure if a process is running or not. You can kill -0 that process, it's going to return true if it's there,
Right.
false if it's not.
One last one.
Okay.
Z-Force.
No, it's still
Oh.
spinning.
Still spinning.
Oh.
I have no idea what to do.
Me either.
Somebody look it up.
Control to dot.
Finally, one man. this
Internet
is-
control
Yeah,
to
that's
dot.
for some we run into one mystery man, huh?
That's, is that part of the Upstart?
I think it's part of the boot up stuff.
Convert.
No, I would
No.
I have no clue what either one of those does. What's the Control 8 format?
No,
Yeah.
it's the man page.
I think it's
Yeah.
I think it's something for Upstart or
Yeah, I mentioned Upstart in there. Upstart is the replacement for System 5 in it. We should get somebody to talk about that sometime.
Yeah, that'd be.
That's still a mystery to me.
I wonder if it might be part of the change.
You ever use that?
I never use this.
You know how, this is
CHVT.
for people that aren't using X.
May I have your attention, please? The time is now 8:30 and the library will be closing in 30 minutes at 9 o'clock. Please be advised that the internet will shut down 10 minutes before
Oh,
closing.
man.
We're gonna shut down the whole damn internet.
I just got
top
off.
of Big Ben.
No big deal.
For those of you guys who've run booted Unix or Linux or whatever without X, how many guys have actually played around with Linux without running X at all?
Sure.
You know how you can do like Alt F1, Alt F2, Alt F3,
Yeah.
your virtual terminals, your
Right.
virtual consoles? CHVT is a command line tool for you to switch to those consoles instead of doing Alt F3.
Oh.
You can have CHVT space 3 and your screen will switch to that.
Oh.
No, I didn't know that.
I feel some new shell aliens was coming on.
There's somebody still not using X.
CLI, of course.
Wow.
I did not know that.
Change virtual terminal.
I mean, I understand X running, but I usually use the terminal.
That's worthwhile.
Okay, fill out your evaluations. Fill out the evaluations.
Right.
Well, except you said they.
What if they don't work?
Just change
Let's see if you're in X.
a remote
Oh,
server.
yeah.
To get out of it. But that's, you do that in scripts if you want to
Turn
run
them
a
up without having
command,
to go, all right,
have it switch to a
cancel
different
it,
screen
turn
and
up
show you
something
something.
back out, right, exactly.
Yeah, let's hit it with one more.
Before the internet's down.
Before the internet. The internet up command. Easy egress.
Oh,
Basically,
okay.
we'll grep a zip2 file.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
You guys
Without
want
having
to do the
without having to
compression?
unzip it first.
Yeah, the end of it.
Yeah, there's also zgrep.
How many of those, there is a Z-graph, but how many of those are there for different,
A bunch of them.
compression?
How many?
How do you list of the graph? I guess you.
Well, what is grep?
You
User
start in the
manual?
man page for grep, and then it
Not
gives you
locate
cross
our
reference.
grep.
Either you can install extra ones.
It shows the other ones in there, refer to these other
The
things.
man page or graph.
PDF graph.
At least it did for mine, if it's got the
Who
standard
knows minus
GNU
L on
one.
those? Let's see if there's
Size.
symbolic
Well,
now.
there's the BZE grep and BZF grep are basically links, it looks like.
Then you can always
Yeah,
try man
basically,
minus K grep.
BZ grep,
They're all different.
Z grep, and grep.
Those are all different. Well, except that the E grep and F grep all go to
They are, aren't they? There are some symbols in there, but there are some separate.
Well, like E grep and F grep are different than grep. Yeah, they were all different programs.
Yeah, except as he pointed out,
Yeah.
in the GNU utilities, they're supposed to be more or less the same.
Alright, should we do one? Last one.
One
more
You can get addicted to
So
this.
which one do you really
That is my
plan for?
son. One more time. One more time.
The last line.
Encore.
Z-Force.
Course.
That's what I said before.
All right, we say the coolest one
Didn't
for
we-
last.
did that one
It's gotta
pop
be
up?
awesome.
Yeah.
May Z Force be with you.
If this doesn't grant me superpowers, I'm gonna be very disappointed.
Alright, Z-Force is
I don't know what that is.
force the .gz extension on all gzip files.
Oh. Hey, that's all three figures the header and then puts that GZ on it.
Scan the file. Yep. On systems with a 14-character limitation on file names, the original name is truncated to make room for the .gz suffix. So the next time that you're on a VAX, there you go.
Or what? SCLC?
3.0.
All right. I'm able
That
to
was
do this
H.A.
for, like git commit -a or something useful.
You want a giveaway?
Alright,
We have a giveaway.
we have a giveaway.
Oh, we need the